This is the sound of a nightjar, a small nocturnal bird calling out into the dark from somewhere deep within a temperate forest. You probably wouldn't notice it walking by, but someone has always been listening. The land you're looking at right now is Unamagi, Cape Breton Island, the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Long before ecology had a name, the Mi'kmaq people of this land listened to sounds like this one. They watched, they remembered, and they understood when a species falls silent, something in the land has shifted. After taking this course, I started to understand what they meant and why both ways of knowing matter. The temperate and boreal mixed forests of Nova Scotia are among the most dynamic ecosystems in this country. We see them shift dramatically with the seasons, from lush summer greens to the fiery colors of autumn, driven entirely by abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are the non living components of an environment, like temperature, sunlight, precipitation, soil composition, and according to Scher and Moles, these abiotic factors are among the most powerful drivers of the of the distribution and abundance of organisms. They determine who lives here, when they breed, and in what numbers. And numbers, like abundance, is exactly what population ecology is about. Take this squirrel. It is not just one animal on a branch, it is one individual in a population. In ecology, a population is a group of individuals of the same species, occupying the same area at the same time. And understanding how that population changes in size is one of the most fundamental questions in the field. Western science approaches this with the BIDE model, as described by Sharon Walls. BID, which stands for births, immigration, deaths, and immigration. A population grows when more individuals are born or arrive than die or leave. Simple in theory, but in practice, every one of those four rates is shaped by the environment: food availability, temperature, habitat quality, seasonal change. When winter arrives and food becomes scarce, birth rates fall, death rates climb, and some individuals immigrate in search of better conditions. The population is constantly responding to its abiotic environment and has no choice. But populations don't just respond to their environment in real time. Over generations, natural selection shapes them to fit in better. This is the evolutionary process that underlines population dynamics, and you cannot fully understand one without the other. The nightjar is a nocturnal not by accident. Over thousands of generations, individuals that were active at night had more access to more insects, faced fewer predators, and survived longer enough to reproduce. Those traits were passed on. The population became what it is today, adapted to darkness, to quiet, to the forest at night. This is what Sharon Moles describes as natural selection, acting on heritable variation. What we see in a population today is the product of which individuals survived and reproduced in the past. The environment selected for them, and as the environment changes, through climate, through seasons, through human activity, and natural selection continues, pushing populations to adapt or decline. Now look at this, a road cutting through straight through the heart of a forest. This is Cabo Trail, one of the most scenic drives in the world. But look at it through an ecological lens. The road is a barrier. It fragments habitat, cutting populations from each other. Immigration drops. Immigration becomes dangerous possible. Genetic diversity falls. Over time, isolated populations become more vulnerable to local extinction. The BIDE model can predict this. But here is where I want to bring in a second way of knowing. The Mi'kmaq elder Albert Marshall coined the principle of two-eyed seeing, which calls on us to see from one eye with the strength of indigenous people and from the other with the strength of Western science, and to use both together. The Mi'kmaq people did not need a mathematical model to know when you cut through the land, the animals disappear. They knew it through generations of careful observation, relationship with the land, and oral tradition. As Lugger and Collins write, indigenous people understand that land not as a source to be measured, but as a living entity to be in relationship with. When we combine both perspectives, the quantitative power of the bid model and the relational depth of generations of indigenous observation, we get a much more complete picture of what a population actually needs to survive. And perhaps more importantly, we get a more honest picture of what is at stake when the land is cooked apart. The nightjar's call means something different to me now than it did at the start of this term. I hear it and I think about a population, births, deaths, immigrations, emigrations, shaped by seasons, by sunlight, by the temperature of the air on any given night. I think about how populations has been slowly sculpted by natural selection across thousands of years of forest life. And I think about the fact that for a very long time, people were already paying attention to all of this, not with models or equations, but with presence, patience, and relationship with the land. Both matter, both have something the other does not. The land has always been speaking. The question is whether we are willing to listen with both eyes open.